All right, hey everybody, it's Rennie Doyle with Auto Detailing TV and Detailing Success, and I am in Boise, Idaho with the Rad Company. And so, how cool is this? So, hey, this is part of our series in Profiles in Success. It's unpolished, it's unedited, it's raw. You're going to see the dog come in and out. We're going to scratch, cough, everything else.
There's going to be employees walking
There's going to be, yeah. So, here's why, is because just 2 minutes ago was the first time that they saw these questions. And I asked, there's been some pretty big names in business, and you guys are going to see that, not just in detailing, but I've got some pretty cool people that have, millionaires, multi-millionaires that have answered these questions. And so I'm excited because you guys are directly involved in the detailing industry. And so that's my favorite because that's where we're at, right?
Yeah.
But it comes down to where we're business people. It's that. So with that, I'm going to start out because I think one of the biggest challenges in detailing is one of the things that took 10 years out of my life was the lack of balance. And I think it was the biggest mistake that I made in business was a lack of balance. So with that, how important is balance between business and personal life, and how hard is it to gain that balance? So,
and before you answer that, tell them your jobs and your names. So
yeah,
that way you can find out.
That way you can see how stressful they are. That's it. That's right.
So my name is Carolyn, and I'm the CEO of the Rad Company, and the buck stops here.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Hennon, Carolyn's
Assistant.
yeah, pretty much. 5149.
That's
what
it.
can we
That's
say?
it.
But we're partners in crime here, and
How long have you been married?
we've been married 34 years.
That's
Yes,
cool. That's
that's
cool.
right.
That's cool.
That's
I
right.
gotta ask you before we move on.
Wonderful.
Have you guys ever quit? Have you ever threatened to quit? Because Diane quits once a year. My wife's my partner too. She quit. Oh, she fires
Only
me.
once a year?
Well, I fire her. Well, yeah. I fire her usually twice a year. She usually fires me once a year. So it's hard.
We haven't fired each other yet.
Yeah.
But we do have some of those. I'm the 51.
Yeah, there you go. I like
Area
that.
Area 51.
That's it. That's it. I like that.
And I'm Levi Gates, and I'm the business development manager and detailing specialist here.
You're
at
the
Rad
trench guy.
Company. Yep.
You're the trench
So
guy.
I've been detailing for
Extraordinaire.
20 years.
So with that, each one of you guys have taken a vital role in building this business up. I mean, it's really each one of you have got, which is probably testimony as we can talk about, because it's really taken the specialty of each one of you to build that. But back to the balance. You guys dodged that. You did. I'm going to make you catch it. So,
It's
you know,
all right.
it's how it's hard to reach. It really is. But how important is it, do you think? And do you have it in your life currently?
It's extremely important, and I'm also going to be the first to say I don't practice what I preach.
There you go.
The things I enjoy doing are like, away from here, landscaping and skiing and a lot of things like that help take my mind away from it. But because we're an international business, I oftentimes start
What
my
time do you
morning.
wake up?
I get up about 3:30 or 4 in the morning. And
I'm going pee at 3:30 in the morning, going back to bed. Just to be honest.
He's a
There's
wise man.
somebody around the world that's ready to talk to him. though.
We're in 50 countries now,
Yeah.
over 50
Wow.
countries,
Wow.
and so when I'm up, I'm communicating with the factories. We're getting things set up. I'm communicating with Europe. It's either the end of the day
Right.
for Korea, China, or it's the beginning of the day for Europe, or midday actually for them. And it's not the wisest thing to do. My sleeping patterns are not where they need to be. Yeah, so balance. It's a goal, but our business. The hard part is our business is growing so fast right now.
Got a tiger by the tail.
We've doubled or tripled every year
Wow.
for 5 years running.
Wow.
And even our banker said she'd never seen that. And
Pretty cool.
and
But it comes at a cost.
We're working on balance. So,
Yes.
So go in there,
I
balance,
think-
The voice of
balance,
reason.
balance.
So balance is very, very important, and we haven't even gotten close yet. But one thing that I like to do is I like to paddleboard. I like to go walk by the river, take the dog on a walk.
There you
Those
go.
are things that kind of help me get away
Detune.
and kind of debrief and we like to river raft, and so. He's very happy to do it once we get going. It's just pulling him away to do it. And so periodically we're trying to do that and trying to instill that, because you have to enjoy the fruits of all your hard
You
work.
do.
Because if you just work and work and work, after a while.
What's the point?
Right.
So it's
Yep.
a lesson and something that we're trying. There's always room for improvement, and that's something we're trying to
it.
improve.
Yeah.
Good answer. We'll mentor you on that because I'm in a good spot, but I
Oh,
wasn't.
good.
I wasn't so long ago, so
Okay.
we'll share that.
Well, I've,
You're now hold on.
Go
So
ahead.
you've got kids that are involved in the business,
Correct.
Okay, and your
Yep.
kids are grown, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. You, on the other
I have
hand,
little ones.
you got little ones, so it's a
Yeah.
different story. So I'm going to really be hard on you.
So for me, it was hard running a shop
yeah.
because for the last year and a half, I did both. I ran a shop full time and did stuff for them part time, and so it was very hard to try and find the hours in the day to play with my kids. I had 2 hours, and so my wife made a rule: don't walk in the house if you're on your phone. So
I like it.
That was the first step. Then the second step was put your phone down till the kids are in bed. And so that way they only got me for 2 hours, but I was going to play with them, give them their bath or whatever, and my wife would run off and go run errands
There
for
we
those
go.
2 hours. So then I was forced to be dad and
right.
do all the stuff, and then when I put them to bed, then I'd catch up on emails and knock some of those out, and then maybe watch a movie with my wife. But coming over here has allowed me, because I no longer have my shop. It still works, it still runs. Matt Ward took it over, but here I have less hours today to work, and so it makes it a little easier.
Gotcha.
But like Jeff says, we're on international time, so I'm texting, messaging with our guys in Saudi Arabia, with Europe, all hours of the day. So
Well, this will probably go out to you, and I think you guys will agree. Is I've got one kid at home, 3 grown, 1 in college, 2 in the Marine Corps, and you guys got to meet Ryan and Darren,
Yeah.
our youngest one, our oldest one, our bookshelves. And ironically, they're the 2 car girls. The other ones could care less. The other 2 aren't really involved, even though our other daughter Delaney, that's in college, she does detail. Our son, not so much. He just didn't take an interest. We'll see what happens as he matures, but. Your kids are young ones.
Yep.
And some of the only times that, I don't have too many regrets in life, thank God. I really don't. But I do wish as a young father, like when Darren was born, our youngest one, I took an entire week off. And it's ironic that her and I are really tight. Well, why? I think it created that bond.
No.
So I think that when your kids are little, the one thing, they don't want fancy stuff. They don't want, they do, but they really want dad. They
Yep.
really want mom.
That's
That's what it
true.
comes down
Very
to.
true.
That's
well, and
very
I've been dealing with that this week. I was gone for the week,
Yes.
and coming back, my boy he's the youngest, and he has not wanted to let me out of his
No,
sight, even to the
no.
point of wanting to take a nap.
Right?
So,
How cool is that?
Yeah. So
Well,
it's
I hope-
nice, but it's frustrating.
My kids probably are the opposite. They're probably done with
Yeah,
me because
yeah,
they're
yeah,
probably there for.
yeah.
But my dog, on the other hand, is
Yeah.
going crazy.
Yeah.
So how cool is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
But to unwind for me, the easiest way, my wife jokes, is that I do have to go outside and wash the cars. She's like, that's the only way you seem to relax, is you
Wow.
go out and you wash.
That's cool.
And so I go out and wash the cars, and then I come back in, and she's like, something changes in you.
That you know what?
So-
How cool is that? That she
That's
recognizes
good.
that.
Yeah.
Well, if you need to relax a little more, my truck's
Yeah,
out there.
there you go.
So go ahead and
You got a few bugs up
Yeah,
there.
that's exactly it. Then
Yeah.
you trip. So
Yeah.
so what? Tell us about your business. Tell us about what year you launched, and then the story of the Rag Company. We just
Sure.
want to hear it.
Rag Company was started in 1999
Mm-hmm.
by a gal who, it was in her garage. It was kind of a side business. She loved the idea of microfiber and the fact that you could use just water and remove 99.9% of the bacteria. It picked up everything. It was absorbent. It was just like the new Wonder Towel. And this is in the late 90s, mid 90s and stuff. And she started in 99. And she built a wonderful base of customers. And unfortunately, back in 2012, she was in hospice. And to be quite honest, it was still a garage business. What was that, 13 years later, still a garage business. She'd done some good, steady growth, but it was still pretty small. And
Nothing wrong with that.
But none of her family were interested in the business. None
No.
of her friends, her family, anyone in her church. And so we just heard about it just kind of by chance. And just, I'm always thinking of new, different ideas. And I said, hey, Jeff, what do you think about this? And so, we did a little research and we said, do you think she would meet with us? Do you think she would consider talking to us about the business? Long story short, she was willing. Her husband was an accountant, so he took care of all the books.
Wow.
So we looked into everything, and she was on hospice, so we didn't really even have a chance to meet her till the very end before we bought the business. But it was interesting because we really didn't know that much about microfiber at the time. We started doing a ton of research. Our oldest son agreed, if we do this business, the only way we can do it is if he ran it during the day in the garage, because Jeff and I both had our
We had our
regular
day
careers.
jobs.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And so we kind of crunched all the numbers. It didn't make a lot of sense, but we thought, you know, we just wondered what could we do? We've always loved business. And so we told the family, we said, you know, we weren't planning to buy a business. This isn't, we weren't kind of prepared to buy a business, but this is what we have to offer. We hope you'll turn us down. I'm sure, somebody else might take it. And long story short, the man said, I've been married 51 years and I need to talk to my wife. I think she's
That's
going to
cool.
say no,
That's cool.
but I've got to ask her. And he said, I'll call you later in the day. So about 10 minutes later, the phone rings, and he said, she has one question for you. And we're like, sure, what is it? And he says, she wants to know, are you just going to dump the inventory and take cash and run, or are you really going to try to make this work? And without hesitation, we're like, never entered our mind, we wanted to see what could we do with this business. And he says, okay, it's yours.
Wow.
And so we were actually
what-
shocked.
What year was that?
2012.
End of
Wow,
2012.
come a long ways in a
And
short
we were
time.
kind of shocked because we were like, we thought for sure they'd say no. And then all of a sudden it's like,
You
oh
got a
my
business.
gosh, yeah.
And so we spent the next year and a half figuring out what did we get.
Just analyzing it. And,
Yeah, figuring out who were the customer base. Everything was paper. There was not a whole lot of
We got
electronic.
2 decibels of files.
Oh, more than that even. It
Wow.
was just
Yeah.
overwhelming.
let me ask you this, education-wise. What's your education level?
I finished my MBA about a year ago.
Wow, congratulations.
So, and it came in very handy at the time. I have, my background is in healthcare, and I've been in healthcare for over 20 years. I started the MBA thinking it would help give me more knowledge and experience in my healthcare career, and it actually happened to be an international MBA as well, so it's actually helped very much
That's
in
cool.
this
Yeah.
business.
That's cool.
So-
Jeff?
I got my MBA about 10 years ago. And so for us, the business was kind of a side investment, side
Gotcha.
experiment. To be able to, there's one thing to read the books and all this
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like with detailing. It's one thing to watch videos on YouTube,
Right.
but until you get your hands dirty
That's
and
it.
get in there.
YouTube certified.
Yeah. It's a much different
Okay,
world.
help me out here, buddy, because I'm feeling a little bit uneducated. So what's your education level?
I probably finished about a year of college.
There you go. Amen. Right on. I feel better now. I went to Boise State, California boy, went to Boise State.
too.
But I got I tell people I had a poor attitude, not a bad attitude. I saw it like a poor kid. And I didn't finish up, so I went back and finished my bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Which I really, educate yourself. I mean, it does pay. You don't have to have a degree, but educate yourself.
Yes.
I
Well,
want
there's
to tell you just a small little story about education. We went to school much later in life. We started.
we were
because-
musicians for 15 years.
Yeah.
We
So
toured-
we didn't choose the normal path that
Right.
most people do. But when our kids were young and we knew that we didn't want to keep working at night in another environment, we made the choice to go back to school. And so we've worked very hard doing school and working and everything. And so it just kind of opens doors sometimes, but it doesn't mean we have great people that work with us, and there's many successful people that they're just internal. It's just within them. So education can open doors, but it doesn't.
No,
make
it's
it-
really, I tell people all the time, my kids, is college really taught me how to learn.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it made me a better student.
Yep.
Yeah.
The piece of paper, to be honest, is really,
Yeah.
I mean, wipe it with it if you want to, but
Yeah.
it's what it gives you the opportunity to learn, to be a student,
Yep.
a better
Yeah.
student. So,
Absolutely agree.
so now let's go on from there. So, you guys have had success quick. I mean, I'm sure it's been a lot. Well, you don't have any free time. We're going to do that. So that's what you're going to change. We're going to
Absolutely.
mentor the two of you.
Yeah.
We're going to work on
Yes,
this. We're going to
I
work on this.
appreciate that.
So, in the early days of your business, what were what were one or two of the big challenges that stand out? You know, among you're building a team, you take it over, you're learning microfiber. You know, you finally learn it. You take that 1 year and invest in just really taking and analyzing everything, and then really that's when it starts. You know, it launches. So, what was something that stands out that really challenged you?
There's a number of things. Probably one of the biggest lessons learned, and I can't emphasize this one enough because I made this mistake, and I think maybe one of your questions about making, learning from your mistakes or what mistake. Bring on your team of experts early. Don't wait
There you
until
go.
you're.
I like it.
Don't wait until you're bigger.
Don't think you can do everything yourself because you always have.
Yeah.
I think, I got an MBA. I can do an accounting
Right.
and this. It's
Right.
like, no, you got a business to run. Oh, and you also have your day gig.
And it's not always hiring people; it's finding outside resources,
Yes.
CPAs,
Yes.
accountants,
Yes.
people to even answer your phone,
Yep.
just stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Let
That's
them be
brilliant.
the experts. They're
That's brilliant.
They're much smarter than I am in
Yeah.
that arena.
Thank you.
And also, when early on, we were putting all of our own money into it.
Yeah.
So when we kind of hired a bookkeeping service,
Mhm.
and so we didn't think we could afford to have an accounting firm,
Mhm.
so we did a service, and they were very nice people. But it took us a couple years to get out of the mess that
Yeah.
they didn't
Created.
stay on.
That's it.
And so we work with a firm, like an accounting firm now. There's 3 cross checks, so
Right.
things are accurate and up
Amen.
to date. That is one of the biggest lessons, I think.
Our CPA works with their staff bookkeepers, and our guys is $450 an hour. And Diane told me that when we first hired him. We fired our other guy. I get chills, and I go, "Wow, that's expensive." After the first filing, the first year that we did our taxes, I went, "That's cheap."
Yep.
Yeah.
That $450 an hour
Yeah.
turned out to be really cheap because of what he saved us.
Yes.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
So now you come into the picture. Probably one of the challenges was your team members. So now you come in. What was one of the early day challenges that you had going from shop owner to coming into this, and now you're developing international business relationships?
First thing in my mind, like the first week I was here, was I thought I need to be washing their cars or something.
Oh God! Yeah.
Seriously.
No, you're addicted.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I felt like Jeff gave me a list of stuff to do. I do all the things, and then I was like, there's got to be something else that I can do.
Mhm.
There's got to be
Mhm.
something bigger. There's got to be this I can help with. And in the back of my head I was like, well,
You gotta
the
wash cars.
car needs washed. out
Yeah,
there.
those cars are good. There's a detailed mentality.
Yeah,
That's funny. So realizing
and-
what you really needed to do was tough.
Yeah,
to
so
get-
it was because it was new, but
God, I
I
love
had been
that.
already kind of doing the job.
Yeah.
Already, it was just I needed to be in house so that we could bounce each other, questions off each other all day, and it was getting to that point. But for going back to Carolyn's thing, that was how I got into this. Was all of a sudden they started fielding questions from detailers all over the
Right,
country.
right.
What's this towel for? What's this towel for? What's this towel for? And then they reached out to me.
I would text you and
Yeah.
say, "Hey, Levi."
You got a
So
second?
you're a detailer that created a career
Basically,
from detailing.
yeah.
And detailing's a hard industry to make it in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
it is. It's the guys. We were watching some of our guys on the video, and Jamie, that's running over $1 million a year company. People don't realize how hard it is to get to that point.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's people in the industry that they put themselves in a good position. They sell themselves, and then people pick them up. And
Yep.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, and I just did it as for help. When I found out that the rag company was in Boise, that I could come in. I had emailed Jeff the first time. Was like, can I just come in and field towels?
Right.
And they had just moved out of their garage into the first
Yeah.
store.
Wow.
And everything was in boxes, and so I literally me and my guys came in. We spent 3 hours learning about microfiber. I didn't know there was that much.
That's cool.
But
Yeah.
we started just playing off each other, and that literally, Carolyn would call me when I'd be working. She's like, "Hey, you got 5 minutes? I got a customer."
Carolyn's calling right now.
yeah, that's it.
but it was literally just a call going, "Hey, I got a customer on the phone, and they want to know what towel's good for this."
That's awesome.
And so
He was
there was
so
at one
good.
point I think you guys flipped phones or something, so that
Yeah,
I
so
could
you
talk
could
to
talk
a
to
customer.
him.
Yeah.
Oh my
through
God.
my cell phone on one of the
Wow.
landlines here.
Well,
And-
we never wanted to
but-
pretend that we knew things that we didn't.
No.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like you want to
Don't
be
know, I'll
confident.
find out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
We can tell you about content and structure and all those things, but I'm not going to pretend to be a detailer. And I let folks know that right up front. You know, I can tell you about the towel, but when it comes to these things, I need to
Yeah,
find
the
an
application
expert.
of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk to
Actually-
Levi. He's out washing our cars.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me
Yeah.
get him in here.
Actually, this kind of leads back to that other point. You don't know everything. I don't care how old you are, if you've been doing
No.
it for 50 years.
Or what your
If you're not-
education is.
No.
Surround yourself with people that are a whole lot smarter than you.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So look
Yeah.
at the combined amount of business experience sitting right here. Okay? Do you know everything?
No.
Do you?
Not even close.
Nope.
I'm not. Me? No. I mean, my ADD kicks in and I forget half of it every day. I'm like, what is that? 10-second Tom. You know what I'm saying in that movie? You know, I mean, I just, poof, it's gone. So I mean, it's a process, and no matter how educated you are, you can't be too educated. You can always learn more. So,
Yep.
so going back to those early days, even now, not let's just not even go early. Is there been any business mistakes that you've made that stand out that you wish that Andy, I wish I could share this with other people because you know I for me for one, I didn't save enough in the early days. You know, I mean, I wish I would have put more of. I put every time we get a dime in, 5 cents of that goes into saving. So we put 50% of our income, or 50% of of all of our sales away. Then if we need to pull out, we can always pull a chunk out if we need to. But I didn't save enough in the very from the beginning. Is there anything that stands out like that for you guys?
That's a key point, to be careful and not overextend yourself.
Yeah.
Managed growth. And that's been key with, even though we've had this explosive growth.
I'd say so.
We
You're
have-
going to see it in a tour here in just a little while. You know.
We've had to really manage everything.
Yep.
From the factories, and we design all of our own towels, we build our own towels. And so, I mean, your eyes can go big and you go, oh, I want this. It's like, no, you have to be smart.
Yeah.
She
I
keeps
don't-
them grounded.
That's
He
it.
gets
me
super
grounded.
excited
Well,
about a
but-
ton of things.
Well, here's
so.
the deal, though: is you guys do a lot with a little, meaning that you don't have a massive staff. For the amount of business you do, it's remarkable on how much you do with this few people. I mean, so that's
Yeah.
testimony, because a lot of people overload, and
Yes.
you know, ooh man,
Yeah.
that labor will eat you up.
Yes.
Hire wisely, but at the same time, some of our best decisions from a hiring perspective
Yep.
have been when we were willing to take calculated risks.
Yeah.
That's
The
it.
keyword is calculated.
That's
Not
it.
just go,
Yeah.
oh, I want my best buddy for
Yeah,
this.
no,
Like,
not off emotions. Don't use emotions.
do
No.
not
Yeah.
do that.
No.
Some of our absolute best hires from our operations manager, John, and many others, it's because we saw a lot of value. Levi,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
guy's
yeah.
a great
Yeah.
example
And
of
he's
that.
and he's cute.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, he would come into the shop and buy towels, and you know, over quite a long period of time, and Jeff and I were talking, and we're like, how do we find somebody like Levi?
Levi.
Like, how do we? And so one day I
he's
said,
right
Levi,
under our nose.
how,
Let's hire Levi.
how do we find
Duplicate
another
me.
Levi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so, you know, and I don't think any of us fully
Yeah.
had the idea yet.
that's so cool.
Yep.
That's
But-
so cool.
It's like, because Levi is so knowledgeable and so low key, but because none of us are super like pushy salespeople.
No,
That's not what
man.
we want to do.
These guys are really. It's a family-owned business.
yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. It comes across when you guys meet you. It's
Well,
a family-owned business.
And we just want to educate. We want to make things better,
Right.
and
Yeah.
want to make the field better.
That's why
And
you're
with-
doing good.
Well, and with Levi's expertise and knowledge and all his years of experience, he just like slid right in and just perfect representation of us.
That's cool.
So we are so thankful to have him.
So,
on board.
any other challenges that you had in the beginning, or not really challenges, but any mistakes or anything that you tripped over that you look back and you want to tell the people that are getting into business?
The one, I'll reiterate, get people on early on board. I don't
Right
care
now.
if you're just by yourself
That's
or
it.
whatever. Bring in
I'd
experts
agree.
that can
Yeah.
help you from accounting,
Yeah.
legal, HR.
Yeah.
If you're a detailer, just the
Yeah.
right assistant,
Yep.
just
Yep.
the right
Yes.
part-time person,
Yeah.
the right person with the right passion and the right reason.
Yes.
Yep, and that's what I did with
Exactly.
my shop. So I managed a bunch of different shops, and there was one guy that I had trained years previously that I'd worked with, and me and him just got along well. We
Wow.
knew exactly
Yeah.
what the other was thinking. I knew how he worked. He knew how
That's
I
the
was.
gentleman that was here the other day.
Yep, Matt.
Oh,
Matt, yeah, that's it.
Yep,
He's
Great
he's the
guy.
one that took over my shop. But
Yep.
when I left to start my business, I was by myself for 6 months in the shop, and he was the first call I made and said, "You want to come work with me?
That's
I'm going
great.
to pay you the same, but you can make your own hours. So I know how you work. I know I trust you everything." And he
Excellent
became
point.
indispensable because he he had basically, when I left, I still tell people he was my right arm for 11 years.
And here's a great point, is you just made. He made himself, you couldn't go without him.
No.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to do with our customers.
Yes.
Make it to where you're so
Absolutely.
convenient and so good that they can't live without you.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to pay a little. I don't want to be the cheapest trainer in town. Matter of fact, I want to be the most expensive.
Yeah.
I'll be direct. I don't. When I owned a shop, you guys were just up in Sun Valley. I came in with 7 other competitors in that market, and I came in at $5 more than the most expensive guy our first time. And by the time that we sold our company, we were twice the price. That's our competitor bought us because he says, "I tried everything to put you out." So I mean,
That's-
you guys might not be the cheapest in some realms, but you're going to educate and support.
Yep.
Yep.
How cool is that? So now, what are some of the detailing industry's changed a lot? What's some of the greatness? What's some of the things that you're seeing in the detailing industry that makes you go right on, right on?
I think.
And you're the detailer, but from a business perspective, because this guy's going to be able to give a lot from the detailing perspective. From a business perspective, the part that we're excited about is the partnerships, and it isn't.
Right.
It can be competitors working together.
Right.
It isn't the backstabbing.
Ah,
In
hallelujah.
in order for me to succeed, you have to fail. No,
Yeah.
No.
It's high tide floats all boats. It's
That's
it's
it.
everybody working together. We have built so many good, effective partnerships and relationships with other vendors, other suppliers, factories, whatever, just because we're trying to lift the industry. If the industry succeeds, if the industry grows, we
Yeah.
all succeed.
All of our shirts, when we were at Air
Uh-huh.
Force One last week, it was a team effort.
Yeah.
All the way from the
Absolutely.
newest guy to the biggest supporter, the littlest, it didn't matter. It was a team effort. And you saw it come together in a very good way. That's a great point.
Yeah.
So from a trench guy, what are you seeing that the detailers are doing?
The amount of education available
It's
now,
unreal.
which is insane.
It's unreal.
For so many years, I felt like I was in the dark, and it was just
Yeah.
me and a guy on a truck that I could bounce
Yeah,
questions off
yeah.
of.
That was
you know.
that 2 months before was delivering porta potties.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? but he went through a 3-day course
Yeah.
on supplies, and now he's the guru. In,
yeah,
in
and
the
that's
market.
and that's how I felt like I didn't have any of this. And then when I started my shop, it was like, okay, like this, I'm going to make this work. I got to learn.
That's awesome.
And so I started
That's
pulling
what-
everything I could from every bit of everybody. And then it turned out that we could start doing videos and we could
Oh,
start
the education
educating.
here is unbelievable.
And so that's what
It's
we did. And
unbelievable.
for me, it was like, for so many years I didn't have it, and now I've built it up. It's only fair that I share it with everybody.
Well, guys,
Share what I learned,
guys like
what I've
us,
done.
here's what we're doing. We reach out to everybody, Switzerland, everybody. We want to take, and that's what's cool now is to see companies like yours reach out and have so many resources available, and you guys, you taking Peacock, throw your feathers out there, bam, look what I got, right? But the problem is, for so many years, is so many people would porcupine.
Yep.
And so they throw it out, bam, and they go, ta-ta-ta,
Yeah,
and shoot
you don't
with
get to know
stuff.
what I'm doing.
Yeah,
You don't get to learn my
and
style,
so
you don't-
Yeah.
we all want to show our feathers and how pretty we are and what we got to offer. But what's cool is you guys are also inviting other peacocks up on the stage
Yeah.
and showing how beautiful
Plenty of room.
they are,
There
right?
is.
That's
There's plenty of
that's
room.
cool. With that, now, if you could take and grab detailers, maybe not all of them, and shake them a little bit. Is there anything that you're seeing, any commonalities where there's some mistakes being made? The detailing industry is really, it's just now, I think we just got on our feet. I really do.
Yeah.
I think we're a band of gypsies up until just recently.
Yep.
And a lot of people treated the business like that. With that said, there's some very minor league mistakes that are being made. Is there anything that stands out in your guys' minds?
For me, just from being in the industry and seeing what I see, there's, I guess you could call them, for lack of a better word, there's almost teams. And there's lines that are being drawn between different
I like
companies
that. Yeah, there is.
and different groups. And
Sad.
And yeah, and at the end of the
Like
day,
a clique kind
yeah,
of-
there's that high school clique mentality.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
yeah.
sit with us.
Yeah.
That frustrates me a lot because everybody has a great product, and as a detailer who runs a business, there are products that work, there are products that don't. There are products that you only buy that one product because it works.
Maybe one time.
Yeah, and you only buy it one time, but you have it just in case for that
That's
one
it.
special situation.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm not, I've got guys that I use and that help assist me or back me in certain ways to use products and things.
Yeah.
But I use them because they work. But I also use other products that I may not name. And the problem I see is guys get in these groups and they just start fighting back and forth, and it's this is better than this, and it's like, well, it's not, because it doesn't depend on the situation. It's not the same situation. It can be used.
If you give a talented detailer, and I've always said this, when I was younger, is give me a can of turtle wax, some Armor All, and I'll make a car look pretty dang good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Honestly, it's a, and a lot of people, I'd make a car look pretty good.
Right.
I could do it. And so it's really, that's interesting. Anything that you guys are seeing from detailers that come in and you call in or when you're talking to them?
I think one thing that's interesting and has opened my eyes, because this is not my background, but I listen and I watch the tutorial videos and I gather information from detailers that call from around the world and across the country, and oftentimes, like you guys were saying, they'll have specific towels that they like for a certain job, but it's their preference. So we always suggest what towel may work for something, but we never say this is for, this is the
only one you're going to do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different preference and reason, and circumstance. And
great.
so that's been really eye-opening for me to never say, oh, this is the only one you can use,
Well, it's like us in our training. So I'm sponsored by Flex. I've got a long-term relationship. But when you come to our training facility, we've got Flex, we've got Makita, we've got Rupes, we've got Festool, and we've got some other brands that nobody's ever heard of. So we want you to grab while you're done. I'm going to show you which each one of those tools do best in my hands. Then it's your decision to decide which tools do best in your hands. And so we are up at Air Force One, and these guys are throwing us towels, and we're going, ooh, and then we're going, ooh, but there's different usage for each one of those. I use some towels that I'm not going to use on a daily driver beater. You know what I'm saying? But on my Porsche or my Chevelle, ooh, that's all that's going to touch it, right? That's what you see.
Yes.
So now let's go ahead and go ahead.
I was just going to make one comment also. Say like an organization like the IDA.
Yep.
People that are very closed-minded, oh, I don't need them.
Oh,
it's like
that,
it's like there are so many benefits that can be derived from an organization like that. As a supplier, as a detailer, as
anything.
There's anything. They have so much to offer, and I think it's very closed-minded and short-sighted. You're missing a lot, as well as what you can learn from a lot of the other members. There's some great forums. There's a lot of, they get you involved. You're on the certification committee, and it's just, there's a lot to be offered there.
We got to bring these guys in and get them into the Founders Club.
I know.
Okay, we're going to do
the
that.
next step.
It's a big
certified
secret.
suppliers, but that'll be our next step.
Founders Club. And that's the thing is people always say, okay, why do I want to be certified? Whether it's my certification, whether it's, hey, for the last 20 plus years, we all of our technicians were level 1, 2, 3 and master. And the reason why is we sold that, we marketed it to our customers, is that nobody but a master level detailer is going to touch your car. He's going to be in charge of it. Now, he's going to have 1, 2s, and 3s underneath him working on it, but he's doing the final inspection. We marketed it. You know what? I have guys all the time that say, it's not worth it. Nobody asked me. That's a stupid response and it's small thinking. Okay? Is you want to market it that, listen, we're trained, we're certified, and we're different than the other guys, and here's why. If you don't see value in being trained and certified and part of an organization, go get a job, work for somebody else, because a smart business person is going to figure out how to market that to their advantage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight out. So that was a great response. Okay. So we got one more question, and it's a big one, but I'm going to squeeze another one in between there. So stand by for this last one, but I'm going to squeeze one in before this one. Look at it, I get goosebumps. Okay, for the last one. So we're going to let these guys plug their business. What exciting things have happened, right now around the Rag Company? What's going on that you're really excited about?
To me, the worldwide presence.
Yep.
You see it in the forums and in the emails that we receive. countries. I have no idea where.
Yeah.
I couldn't find them
The
on a
drawings
map.
upstairs. We're gonna go up on the
Yeah,
tour and
you
show
know,
you that.
and it's just fascinating to me, the outreach of social media. People like Levi, who's very humble and is a great educator, and you know, the outreach that people like yourself have had, and it's just all of that really works, and different partnerships, and so when you get that, it's just amazing to me. And we are in the process of developing a network of testing around the world in all conditions and everything. Levi is coordinating a team that can help us with that,
awesome.
because we want to make sure when we have products,
awesome.
they're top of the line, they're tested and true. And so having stuff like that is really key. But you've got a customer base that encompasses the world, and
having people know our name. You know, I don't think we ever,
Yeah.
you know, honestly, in the beginning, the rag company, I really wanted to change
She
the
wanted to
name.
ditch it.
I wasn't too fond of it.
I like it.
But when we found out from looking through the files that we had a few very solid customers, we decided, okay, we're not changing
Smart
the
move.
name.
Yeah.
Smart move.
And it's so now it just makes me smile to think people on the other side of the world know what the rag company is, what it represents. It represents quality and care and great service. And that's
Good people.
no matter what we do, whatever industry we've been in, we've always wanted that, you know, quality, care, and great service.
And we were just at Waxstock this year for the first time, and our
In London.
partners
In London,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Pretty
our-
exciting, isn't it? Cool show.
We didn't get to go because we were with you.
You were-
Oh, yeah.
They were
sure.
there.
I was gonna say, how
They
did I
were
squeeze
there.
that? I'm counting people. I'm going, hold on.
Yeah.
Who was missing? Because I don't. Yeah.
But we had our
Representative.
representatives over there, and they had set up their booth, and they said they were surprised and overwhelmed at the number of people that knew the logo and the name.
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
we're
No,
very
you guys
excited
have-
that they were there.
You guys have
so
done a tremendous job. I
we'll be
mean,
there next year
absolutely.
in person.
Well, thank you.
Hopefully we will too. So here's the last question, and this is for each one of you, and I'm going to put you on the spot. Is the best piece of advice, personal or business, that you've been given over your entire life, and by who? Who gave you that piece of advice? It's a big question. So you know what? You've got an
Start
MBA.
down there.
You got an MBA, so we're going to start with Levi.
Yeah. Well, my dad, for one, has always he's pushed me a lot with a lot of different things. We never got along growing up and going through high school, but we fought a lot. But he's always backed me 100% of whatever I've done. And one of his classic lines that he says to me and to my siblings is, "Your gates, everything always works out for you." So whenever we're down, just remember your gates, everything always works out for you. And then the second one that I used throughout my shop and would get me through the roughest days was just don't sweat the small stuff.
Boy,
For him, and that was how he lived. And
Amen.
some people will say, like, well, no, you got to sweat the small stuff because the small stuff can become big things. But for me, it made it, it made it easier, and I would reiterate that into the way I ran my business, where we would do some dealer work, and there's always the dealer that at 4 o'clock on
Always
a
the small
Friday
stuff
afternoon
that
that
turns
would
into
say,
big stuff.
I need this car done because I've got to sell it to this customer, and I want to show them, and they're going to look at it, and
You've got 42
yeah,
minutes.
you've got 42 minutes to get it done, and
Yep.
I would tell them in 42 minutes it's not going to look any different than if you ran it through your wash bay, because that's all I've got time to do. And so I would just tell them no, because
They're going to be disappointed.
they're going to be disappointed regardless of whether I did it or I didn't.
That's it.
And I wouldn't sweat that they were going to be disappointed. I would say, show them the car.
That's awesome.
Tell the customer that we'll come detail it on Monday if they want to buy it. It needs a full detail, and run it through the car wash at your stand, because we're going to fix it.
Yep.
So even if the car wash damages it, we're going to fix it. And it's
Hey,
gonna
you know what? Tell them that it's going in for detail.
Yeah,
Get
that's
it out
all.
there, get it clean, sell it, and then we'll make it look right.
Yeah, and
That's a
it
great
was being
answer.
truthful to those customers
like
because
it.
of that. Because I wasn't gonna stress. I wasn't gonna freak my crew out. I wasn't gonna worry them when it's Friday and we're all getting ready to close down. And I go, "Oh, sorry guys, we got to do these
Nah,
cars."
you
'Cause
gotta
then
make a lifestyle for your guys.
Yeah, and then it creates that animosity.
Listen,
and
your guys,
so-
well, your team, the customer's always right is wrong.
Yep. So
Your staff, taking care of your staff
Yeah.
is always. Now that doesn't mean your staff can be abusive or anything else.
No.
If you screw up, own it. But what it means is when you've got an abusive or a customer that's overusing you
Yep.
or stretching their bounds, always stick up for your staff.
Yep.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
Right. So
Absolutely.
since you're second in command,
Sure.
you're going to go next.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
So
Be humble. 2
Yeah.
ears, one
Yep.
mouth. Listen a lot more, learn more. Speak up when you need to.
Yep.
Stand your ground when you have faith and conviction and things.
Peacock, don't
Yeah,
porcupine.
but
You know?
you
That
don't
hurts.
know it all, so be
That's
humble.
it.
And he preaches that he preaches
practices
it,
it?
and he practices
There you
it.
go. I like it.
And
You can
if
tell.
if me or John, our operations manager, or Carolyn, or even Dane, his son, have an issue and we need to challenge him on, he's got his
Bring it
ears
on.
are open.
I wanna
he
know.
listens and he works through it, and it either happens and changes, or
One
the
of my-
boss overrules.
And that
it.
One
comes
of-
from my mom, by the
One
way.
of my biggest mentors in my life is my oldest daughter's 22 and a U.S. Marine. She'll reason when she's taken. Okay, cover your ears. You're going to get a big old head. She's taken she's taken some subjects and really sometimes violently opposed me. And you know what? Over time, when I sat down and quietly, stop, drop, and roll on it and think about it, she's actually motivated and changed my mind, and changed my
Wow.
position on something.
Wow.
Because she's wise, for being 22, and
That's
you
impressive.
can learn from anybody. You
That's
just got to
very
shut
true.
up.
That's
Okay.
very true.
So, okay, boss lady.
Okay, I think from a very young age, my dad told me to treat people the way I wanted to be treated,
Hmm.
and he said, be honest. And he also said, we tend to be a little short. My dad was a short Marine, but he was very hardworking. And he said, you're kind of short, you're kind of small. You're going to have to work harder than the next
Right.
guy. And so, and my oldest sister has carried that on. She gave me a little rock a few years ago, and she said, put this in your pocket and remember it, that you can do a hard thing. And just you rub that rock and you can do a hard thing. So, owning your own business and going through, people have different experiences in life that are not easy, but if you kind of focus in and you treat people the way you would want them to treat you, things may not turn out immediately the way you expect, but down the road they probably
I dig
will.
it. I dig
So-
it. That's great advice. Well, guys, it's been fun. We got a live tour. Watch the YouTube channel and over on social media, because we're gonna also introduce right simultaneous same day. We're gonna introduce this video and then also the tour, so that way it goes bam bam.
Excellent.
It comes
Very
up.
good.
So hey, it's live, it's raw, it's unedited. We have fun. Nobody picked their nose.
Yeah.
The phone didn't ring and throw us
I
off.
know.
So we got through a session. I'm at the Rag Company. I'm Rennie Doyle. Check it out right there. You can see it, and I'm going to turn the camera off. Adios. See you guys.